Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It has been a little while since my last video, and that is because the last few weeks have been kind of rough. We're going to start the video off today by talking about what's been going on since my last upload, and then later on in the video I'm going to share with you about some altercations that my sweet Theresa has gotten into over the last 2.5 months while being in memory care. Alright, so Theresa's doing fair at the moment, but over the last few weeks or so, she has been very agitated and displaying an increased level of confusion and difficulties expressing herself. And whenever she's in a prolonged, agitated state, her overall cognitive abilities are more declined, and she is more apt to have delusions. Theresa has been spending a good deal of time looking around for and worrying about Bean. Bean is the nickname that she gave our orange tabby cat. His real name is Hunter, but she has nicknames for all of our cats, and we should have just named him Bean because we never call him Hunter. Additionally, Theresa has been wondering where I am at and started thinking that I have a mistress again. Staff told me that she would smack her fist into her hand waiting for me to come visit. She told him that she was going to let me have it. However, every time I arrived, she was all hugs and kisses and very relieved to see me, and her behavior would drastically improve. However, when I left, she would resort to being mad at me again and looking for the cats. She has not directly asked me about taking her home, but she has said to me, "Get me out of here." She's not able to fully articulate that she wants to go home, but she has said enough that I know she understands to some degree that she's not at home and she wants her Bean. The memory care staff as well as her neurologist discussed with me that bringing Theresa home may have triggered her recent behavior changes and may also be contributing to her increased confusion and agitation. I can see that this is definitely a possibility, and I have agreed to temporarily not take her home for a while and see if things improve. If you watched my last video, you'll remember that I was so grateful for that opportunity to be able to take her home and let her visit with the cats. That seemed like it was going to work out okay, but now that does not seem to be the case. The memory care staff had not seen her like this since her first week, and everyone was concerned, especially me. Whenever she is not doing well, or at least at her normal baseline, it really tears me up, really hurts me not to give her what she wants, her cats and her home. And of course, I wanted to be able to spend time with her back here at home as well. And now what this really translates to is that I might not be able to bring her home anymore at all. I do still, however, plan to take her out on date nights, which would include visits to the beach, out to dinner, or a trip for ice cream, unless that is going to cause a problem as well. I want to give her the best life, and unfortunately that may not include being able to go back home. I really felt alone this week and was all out of sorts. I was very distraught that she wasn't doing well. I didn't feel like working or making videos. I just wanted to go take care of her. And I have really not felt that distraught since the first week she was at memory care. There's just no easy answers or decisions with this disease. So I'll keep you guys updated on how things are going moving forward. As of last night, she was still asking about Bean, but overall she had mostly returned to her normal baseline. I gave the staff some pictures of our cats that they could show her during the day. I also got her a dementia stuffed animal cat that purrs when you pet it, and it looks just like Bean, but she said it was creepy. So no win on that one, but overall she's pretty much back to being her sweet self. Hasn't accused me of having a mistress in the last few days or punched her fist at me. However, full transparency here, guys, she has been in a couple altercations while at memory care over the last 2.5 months. I'm aware of 3 squabbles that she's been in, and I pondered for a while whether or not I'd ever talk about this, but ultimately decided that I'm going to share the raw truth with you all. This is part of the journey, and we're going to discuss it here. The first altercation was with a private duty nurse that came to visit another resident. The nurse took the resident outside for a walk, and they were messing around with the flower beds. My understanding is that Theresa was watching through the window and got upset they were messing with her plants. Theresa spends a lot of time outside tending to those gardens there and weeding them. She apparently got outside, confronted the nurse, and knocked the cell phone out of her hand and then pushed her down. The second incident was with a male resident that wandered into her room early one morning. Theresa got afraid and grabbed the man by the arm, and she must have dug her nails into him because he was all bandaged up when I saw him later that afternoon. I believe he had very thin skin, and she tore him up a bit. The third incident, I was actually walking into the memory care center when this one occurred. I overheard on their walkie-talkies that assistance was needed in the dining hall. Several staff were rushing to the wing of the facility that Theresa was in. I followed them. I saw Theresa being helped off the floor. Another resident sitting at the table with Theresa had apparently made some derogatory comment about Theresa's baby. Theresa has a delusion of pregnancy and did not take kindly to whatever this other resident had said. They ended up on the floor fighting, and food and drinks got spilled. Theresa got a few scratches on her, but she was okay. Until this disease, I don't believe Theresa had ever gotten into a physical altercation in her life. She's always been super sweet and loving, always showed a lot of empathy for others, and was and still is, to the extent of her capacity, a great encourager of others. All the nurses love her. Most of them are her same age. She pretty much stays away from the male residents, but gets along well and socializes with female staff and other female residents. However, you don't mess with her plants, don't come into her room if you're a man, and don't talk bad about her baby. Theresa's from Brooklyn, New York, and I've nicknamed her now my little Brooklyn brawler. In all seriousness, guys, though, I don't want her involved in any more altercations. I'm working with the staff to adjust some environmental factors. One of those factors may include possibly moving her into a different wing of the facility that is quieter and away from a few of the residents that she doesn't get along with. All right, guys, that will wrap up today's video. Next up will likely be a Q&A type video. Lots of good questions in the comments. I do answer them in the comments, but I'm sure I could make an entire video out of some of them. That way everybody could benefit. If you have a question you'd like to see answered in a video, please post it in the comments section. And before I go, tomorrow is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there watching. My father passed away 2 years ago, and I sure miss him a lot. I'll be hosting breakfast here tomorrow for my family, and we will be remembering and honoring him. My son will be with me, as well as my mom, my brother, and my nephew. So hope you all have a great weekend and Father's Day. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for your love and support, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.